As language structures become more sophisticated, as language structures become longer, as verb forms become more complicated, reading becomes more of a challenge for students who are deaf and hard of hearing, and writing becomes more challenging for students who are deaf and hard of hearing. We see large numbers of students who are deaf and hard of hearing experience difficulty in moving beyond a grade 4 reading and writing level, and that's the age at which typically students move from sort of the more basic structures into more sophisticated, longer structures. And again, the language base of students who are deaf and hard of hearing sometimes seems to be the main area in which these students are struggling and experiencing difficulty. Because of that, students who are deaf and hard of hearing may require specialized communication instruction in speech reading, vocabulary, and language structures. Clearly, to support successful participation in school, effective communication is going to be a top priority. We also need to carefully consider social interaction issues, so ways in which we can make use of cooperative learning activities, as discussed by Dr. Mason in the previous lecture, and also skills training for both individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing as well as their non-disabled peers in how they can learn to work and learn in a cooperative manner. A support that is frequently available to you at these times is the speech-language pathologist who is associated with your school or with your school district. As part of their professional training, speech-language pathologists typically have received some coursework in educational issues and educational curriculum issues. Their main area of strength is speech and language issues, but they may also be of some assistance in talking about how best to deliver, or they will be of some assistance in talking about how best to deliver certain aspects of coursework in order to promote understanding by the student who is deaf or hard of hearing. Speech-language pathologists may provide direct services to the student who is deaf or hard of hearing, or they may act in a consultative capacity. So they may talk to you as a teacher about things that you can do in order to help your student participate more effectively in class. I want to share now a short videotape clip showing some of examples of the direct services that a speech-language pathologist may provide. In the clip that you're about to see, the speech-language pathologist is working with the high school student that we saw earlier and is talking about some of the different language structures in English, talking about how to create singular and plural verb forms when reading and writing. So we will take a look at that video clip now.
Sorry. A singular... Let's start over. Okay. Today we're going to talk about agreements of subjects and verbs, and a verb needs to agree with its subject in number. So there's two easy rules to remember, and it's just a singular subjects, singular verbs, like the boy delivers newspapers. Okay, boy, there's only one, so it's singular, and then delivers is a singular verb. Okay, Joe attends college. Okay, one person, singular verb, attends. Okay, so if you look at the book, at the examples under number 1, Caroline attends college. You just add the S to the verbs to make them singular, okay? And then
I think as that clip makes clear, there are enormous challenges to trying to teach someone the language structures and syntactical structures and grammatical structures used in the English language. So when I talked a little bit about how challenging it may be for students who are deaf and hard of hearing to acquire skills in reading and writing, I think you see some of the challenges associated with that in that video clip. So again, speech-language pathologist is doing an outstanding job trying to explain some fairly sophisticated concepts, and I think that gives you a little bit of insight into the challenge. I think some of the implications of this are that when we think about assessment of learning for students who are deaf and hard of hearing, we need to try and think of lots of different ways for students to demonstrate their understanding. So extended writing tasks or extended writing activities may not be the best way for students who are deaf or hard of hearing to demonstrate their understanding. There may be more that they know about a topic than they can effectively communicate through written expression. So we need to think about, I would suggest, ways that we can prepare students for the demands of the adult world, but make sure that we're not sort of imposing artificial demands or demands that they won't actually meet. In an awful lot of jobs, it's not really required or expected that you produce long samples of written text. It is expected that you would be able to both write and read short written texts. So all I'm really suggesting here is that we think very carefully about whether our assessment activities are in fact testing what we hope they would test when we're working with students, and that we also look for creative ways for students to be able to communicate their understanding to us, because there are particular activities, long written passages being one of them, that will be very challenging, or often very challenging, for students who are deaf and hard of hearing. In summary, when we speak to adults and parents of children who are deaf, hard of hearing, they encourage us to communicate to teachers that they really want teachers to keep their expectations high, that they would like teachers to provide the same or equivalent information and experience for the child who is deaf as they would for a hearing child. They would ask that teachers respect the need for specialized instruction and support, so recognize that they are hoping that the same content will be covered, but also that some specialized accommodations may also be necessary at that time. Again, the good news is that often the accommodations that we put in place to help a child who is deaf or hard of hearing often prove to be of benefit to all students in the classroom. So in providing specialized services for one child, very often we discover both instruction techniques and assessment techniques that can be of assistance to other children in the classroom as well. Those were the major issues I wanted to address in talking about students who are deaf and hard of hearing. Again, we'll be revisiting some of these issues when we talk about assistive technology in a later lesson. But for now, go and get a cup of coffee, and in a few moments we'll talk a little bit about students who have physical and cognitive disabilities.